Hello everyone and welcome to our live coverage of Blue Origin's NS-29 mission launch with New Shepard's 29th launch from Launch Site 1 at West Texas. Hope you all are doing fine and excited about the upcoming Blue Origin's first ever lunar gravity simulation launch. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Dipto Maitra. I'll be your host providing commentary for today's mission launch, and you are watching AstroYonder live.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine. Capsule is turning around.
Houston, we see a nominal MECO. Welcome to space.
Today's mission is Blue Origin's 30th overall launch and the second of this year. This also marks the New Shepard's 29th overall launch and first of this year. Now we are currently awaiting for a New Shepard's liftoff at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 16 hours UTC from West Texas for an uncrewed mission launch with 30 payloads, providing lunar gravity experience to the payloads on board. Before we dive in, on behalf of AstroYonder's team and our awesome moderators, we want to thank all of you joining us for today's launch. We truly are grateful to have you here. Really appreciate you being here, and a big thanks to our amazing YouTube community for being here today, supporting us as we provide detailed coverage of space launches complete with extensive stats and thorough insights. Now, just a reminder, it's me only managing the launch coverages on my own, so if we face any technical issues, please bear with me and hang tight. Nothing to worry. I will do my best to guide you through the upcoming New Shepard launch happening in about 50 minutes from now. And if this stream fuels your love for space, give us a like. It's like fine-tuning the trajectory of our mission to reach more space enthusiasts at the right orbit. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification so that you won't miss a single launch update. And also we would like to consider you guys to engage with us on the chat, to let us know from where you are joining us and to share your comments. So now let's move on to the mission details. Well, let me come to this slide a little later. Let me just give you a context of today's mission. Blue Origin's this upcoming New Shepard NS-29 mission is set to carry a diverse array of payload on a journey to the edge of space beyond the Kármán line. With this mission, Blue Origin is bringing their missions with Lunar G capabilities online, a first for New Shepard and made possible in part through support from NASA. Now imagine a school field trip to space. The New Shepard rocket is like a special bus taking 30 different experiments on a ride. These experiments are a little scientist, like each of them are like little scientists, each with a unique job to do. Learning about the moon, some experiments will try to figure out how to build things on moon like roads and habitats. Other will study how to use moon's resources such as water, ice. Several experiments will test new tools and techniques that could be used in future space missions, such as robots that can move around the moon's surface. Some of these experiments will also help us to study how different materials and systems behave in harsh conditions of space, like extreme temperatures and radiations. By conducting these experiments, scientists hope to gain valuable insights that will help mankind to learn and explore, and also to utilize the space resources more effectively. Also, with this mission, which allows NASA and other lunar technology developers to test key innovations necessary for reaching the Artemis program objectives and exploring the moon's surface. Now, today's mission is a little bit from different NS, like New Shepard launches. Today, the NS-29 mission will spin its capsule to create a gravity similar to that on the moon. This environment allows scientists to test how different technologies and experiments behave under lunar-like conditions. For example, researchers will observe how fluids move, how fire burn, and how bubbles form in this special gravity. These studies help prepare for future missions to the moon by ensuring that equipment and processes will work as expected in the lunar environment. Simulation of the lunar gravity will be achieved, as I said, by spinning the crew capsule at 11 revolutions per minute using its reaction control systems, also known as RCS. And this spin rate simulates 1/6 of the Earth gravity, which is at the moon, which is the moon's gravity at the midpoint of the crew capsule lockers for at least 2 minutes. Now, NASA's Glenn Research Center also features this kind of providing the zero G experience with their zero gravity research facility, which is one of the two drop towers located at NASA site in Brook Park, Ohio. And that specifically one provides researchers with a near weightless environment for a duration of 5.18 seconds. But in case of parabolic flights using the Boeing KC-135A C9 and Airbus A310-0G, etc., those flights provides a near weightless environment for a duration of approximately 20 seconds. So in comparison to that, Blue Origin is offering at least 2 minutes of like weightlessness is there, of course, but moreover with the spinning of the crew capsule, they will be providing the lunar G experience to the payload. Now this mission will carry, as I mentioned before, 30 diverse payloads from institutions such as Purdue University, Honeybee Robotics, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and Glenn Research Center. Now let's move on to the payload side discussions, which I played previously. Today's flight will basically test 6 broad lunar technology areas, which includes the in situ resource utilization, also which stands like ISRU. Now, in situ is a Latin term that means on site or in place. In this context of NASA's in situ resource utilization program, it refers to the practice of using resources found or manufactured on other astronomical objects such as Moon or Mars, rather than bringing all the necessary materials from Earth. And the objective of this in situ program is that to test technologies that can use local resources on the moon to support human missions, such as extracting water or building material from lunar soil. The next section, which today's payload is focusing on, is the dust mitigation to develop the test methods to manage and reduce the impact of lunar dust on equipment and habitats. Next one is the advanced habitation system to test materials and systems that will be used in habitats on moon, ensuring they are safe and effective in the lunar environment. Also, the next segment for today's mission is the sensor and instrumentation for the lunar missions, which serves the objective to test various sensors and instruments that will be used for navigation, communication, and scientific research on the surface of the moon. Some small spacecraft technologies will be tested in today's flight, whose objective is to test new technologies for small spacecraft that can be used for lunar exploration and other space missions. Some experiments for entry, descent, and landing, whose objective is to test technologies that will ensure safe and accurate landing on moon and other celestial bodies. Now, before moving on, we have a request for you folks thinking of hitting the like button as your way of boosting us past max Q. It helps us to connect with more space enthusiasts. And subscribe and ring the notification button so that you will never miss an update, like a perfectly timed launch window. Now please allow us a couple of seconds to check whether the launch is on time or not, and to stay updated. It seems like yes, it is, although as of now Blue Origin didn't provided any of their webcast link. Soon they will be providing the webcast link. We will be patching it on our stream. Now let's briefly discuss about the payload. For that one, which I was previously discussing, was the broad way to discuss about today's payload, but now let's dive a little deep in that. So in the in situ resource utilization, the payload today is the first asset, also known as asteroid soil strength evacuation tool, which objective is to calibrate a system that measures the resistance of asteroid soil to penetration, reducing risk for asteroid missions. Now, researchers at Honeybee Robotics, which is a division within Blue Origin's in-space systems business, are addressing this challenge with their asteroid soil strength evaluation tool. The asset is simple payload for determining geophysical properties for near-Earth asteroid or object soil at various densities in microgravity. The technology uses a dual plunger sealed system and load cell to test regulate resistance to penetration. The next payload in this category is the electrodynamic regolith conveyor, whose objective is to move lunar soil using electric fields, aiding in future resource utilization on the moon. Researchers at NASA's Kennedy Space Center are addressing this technology designed to move lunar regolith particles using dynamic electric fields generated by placing alternative high voltage on electrodes on the conveyor surface rather than conventional rotating and vibrating actuation. This dust-tolerant technology is designed to enable future in-situ resource utilization operation on the moon. I hope Blue Origin will be providing more details. Uh, I'm just giving you guys a overview of the payload. I hope they will be giving some visual representation of these payloads. Although I have a clip, if we will be having some time in between, I will try to play that. So that clip is not comprising all the payload, but still just to have a rough idea. Now the next one is the project Dune Flow. Its objective is to study the properties of lunar soil simulants under lunar gravity, improving the effectiveness of the excavation technologies. This project is being carried out by NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, and where they will be quantifying gravity dependent geotechnical properties, example the angle of response of various lunar regolith simulants, to directly characterize and compare them under lunar gravity. Successful testing is expected to lead to simulants that effectively replicate flow behavior, potentially enabling better testing for excavation and regolith conveyance system, and thus leading to greater effectiveness of those technologies. The next payload in this category is the vibratory lunar regolith conveyor, also known as VLRC, whose objective is to test vertical transport of lunar soil using a stick slip phenomena, enhancing the regolith conveyance system. Researchers at NASA's Kennedy Space Center are investigating vertical transport of the lunar regolith simulant under vacuum condition. This VLRC takes the advantage of the stick slip phenomena to overcome gravity dependent static friction while conveying granular materials up an inclined surface. With a vacuum chamber provided by UCF, that is the University of Central Florida, the payload enables simultaneous testing of several different lunar simulants for multiple pitches in the vertical screw conveyor design. Next payload is the ISRU pilot excavator, also known as IPX bucket drum flow. So, whose objective is to assess a bucket drum technology for collecting lunar soil, enabling low mass robotic excavators to dig on the moon. Researchers at NASA's Kennedy Space Center again are assessing the performance of a bucket drum excavation technology for regolith collection. This technology allows regolith to collect it as the drums rotated in one direction and dispensed as they rotate in the opposite direction. On the moon, these opposing rotations have to happen simultaneously to counteract excavation forces. The technology could enable low-mass robotic excavators to dig into the reduced gravity environment on the moon and other planets. Next payload is the root-like borrowing device, which is also known as lunar anchoring, whose objective is to test a device that can self-anchor and borrow in lunar soil, improving the subsurface sensor development. This payload is being hosted by University of California, Santa Barbara. Next payload for today's mission in this in situ resource utilization category is the honey bubble excitation experiment, which stands for HB. This one is a quite interesting one. This will have an objective to evaluate method of extracting oxygen from lunar soil, including bubbles formed within viscous material. And just don't go with the name, but truly they will be using the honey as a viscous simulant for the molten regolith and compressed gas for evolved oxygen. And researchers will aim to improve the current method of the extracting oxygen from regolith, which is an important oxygen source on the moon. Next payload is the Sparta, which stands for Soil Properties Assessment, Resistance and Thermal Analysis. Its objective is to test a multi-tool instrument that measures various properties of lunar soil, aiding in planetary exploration, being hosted by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and also the Honeybee Robotics. Both are in collaboration for this payload. Now let's move on to the next category, that is the dust mitigation, where we have 4 payloads for this category. First is the puffer oriented compact cleaning and excavation tool, also known as POCET or POCET. I don't know how to pronounce it. POCCET, I think it should be POCET. So whose objective is to test a pneumatic technique for removing dust from surfaces, improving analysis of the lunar outcrops. It's being hosted by Honeybee Robotics once again. Next we have is the Artemis Lunar G payload, whose objective is to conduct experiments on lunar dust mitigation and regolith characterization, improving the dust mitigation techniques. Well, this payload is being hosted by NASA's Johnson Space Center, and they are conducting 4 lunar dust mitigation and regolith characterization experiments with this payload. Next up is the electrostatic dust lofting EDL via photoionization, whose objective is to observe the electrostatic repulsion of the lunar soil grains, developing a dust charging and lofting model. This payload is being designed and hosted by NASA's Kennedy Space Center, who are about to conduct their experiment involving photoionization of the lunar regolith simulant grains and observing their electrostatic repulsion via high-speed imagery. Next up, we have the Clothbot low gravity transport of the dust liberated from spacesuit fabric. This whole sentence is the name of the payload. Okay, don't get like bothered by these names. And whose objective is to study how dust particles shed from spacesuit material in low gravity, aiding in dust mitigation. Previously, we did saw with the Apollo missions how annoying this lunar dust is getting on to the machines on the spacesuits, and It can even harm human lungs if inhaled. So this whole segment of the dust mitigation for today's payload will be focusing on that to mitigate the issue with the lunar dust. So this clothboard payload is being designed by NASA's Glenn Research Center, where they will be using a mechanical apparatus to autonomously stretch, shear, and crumple a patch of spacesuit material loaded with particles prior to launch. During the suborbital flight test, controlled fabric agitation causing the particle to shed, which they will be noticing, and researcher will track the operation on video and measure the concentrations and size distributions of the dust particle with the miniature sensors. So with it got done with this section for the dust mitigation. Next up, we have the next section for today's payload, which is the advanced habitation system, which comprises of only one payload, that is Lucy, which stands for Material Flammability Lunar G Combustion Investigation. Its objective is to assess the flammability of materials in lunar gravity, improving fire safety for crewed spaces on the moon. Hosted by NASA's Glenn Research Center again, researchers together with Voyage Technologies together with the Voyager technologies are also assessing the flammability of the solid material in lunar gravity, observing the flame fronts and the multiple samples at the variety of the gravity acceleration. The payload record flame velocity images, radiant emissions, temperatures, and product gas concentration. So all these parameters they will be monitoring. NASA's Glenn Research Center with collaboration with the Voyager technologies for the Lucy payload. Uh, well, before moving on, I would like to welcome Pop Tripika, one of our moderator here. Thanks for tuning in, Pop Tripika. We did miss you on our last stream. No, well, even I was not prepared for this new Shepard launch, and never previously. One time I did covered new Shepard launch. This is my second one. Generally, I'm not. Excuse me. Generally, I'm not covering the suborbital launches except Starship. So today I thought to make it because this one is a little intriguing as they will be simulating the lunar gravity with the spin of the crew capsule of the new Shepard. So for that, I thought to make it to stream. Nothing but okay, fine. You just tune in. So and hopefully, Blue Origin will be providing with their live streaming link. As of now, still they didn't provide it. Keep searching all of their social media handles, but I'm not finding any link as of now. Although they provided a link that's of a website and it always says live webcast coming soon. So keeping an eye on that, let's move on. And Puppy Pig, I hope you are doing well. I didn't ask about how you are doing. So the next category is the next payloads in the category of the sensor and instrumentation is R, the multi-phase microfluids for chemical analysis system. In short, known as Forge, whose objective is to test a sample handling technology for chemical analysis, aiding in lunar and planetary exploration. And the next one is the FMBC, which stands for Flow Boiling in Microgap Coolers, whose objective is to characterize fluid physics in heated miniature channels, improving thermal management for spaceflight systems. We got done with this segment. Next, we have for the small spacecraft technologies, which is another category for today's payload onboard, and which comprises of only one payload, that is the FEMTA, FEMTA, FEMTA micropropulsion for interplanetary small sat, whose objective is to test a non-toxic micropropulsion system for small spacecraft, reducing mission cost. Researchers from Purdue University are testing FEMTA, which stands for Film Evaporation MEMS Tunnel Array, although I don't know even what MEMS means, didn't research well. Well, a non-toxic micropropulsion alternative for precision attitude control for small spacecraft mission for the orientation control. This technology uses water surface tension to provide highly tunable low power attitude and thermal control and enable in situ resource utilization for propellant and overall, which results in the reduction of the small spacecraft mission costs. So now let's move on to the next and the final category for today's payload, which is the entry, descent, and landing. Why it is flickering? Just a second. Well, I made it on loop for that. Now it won't. So in this one, they are again having only one payload. That is the TAP multi-environment navigator, also known as DAMN, DMEN, or DMEN, or DMON. Okay, let it be. So, whose objective is to test a navigation solution for safe and accurate landing on Moon and other planets. DAPR is testing the DAMN entry, descent, and landing navigation solution designed to give lunar and planetary missions wayfaring and location data needed for safe and accurate landings. Weighing just around 3 kilograms, the payload consists of a suite of sensors, which includes camera, magnetometer, and inertial measurement unit, along with sensor circuitry, a computer, and algorithms to process sensor data for navigation. Due to its low size, weight, and power requirements, it has the potential to benefit future NASA missions and space industry. And worth mentioning that during researching for all these payload details, I did saw that this specific experiment is going on for long. So hopefully it has some good potential. Now I guess we are getting close to the webcast to begin because, oh no, they shifted their liftoff time. Let me just check whether they provided any update or not. They adjusted their liftoff time of 11 a.m. Eastern Time to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time and 16:30 hours UTC. Just 30 minutes of adjustment with the liftoff time. So we do have some more time Uh, I hope I could play that clip for you guys. Now we got done with this, so moving on, let's learn a little bit. As you guys know already, yes, probably we got 30 minutes of delay, and hopefully we won't be getting scrubs. Previously on the October with the NS-27, with they made to have 2 times to have the scrub, so I'm a little worried about that section. Now about the um, payload, how it will be. We know the crew capsule, which is having a room for 6 people, environmentally environmentally controlled for comfort, and among the largest windows to have flown in space. You can see on your screen at the very left is the Blue Origin crew capsule, and in the middle is the crew capsule having the payloads on board. So they have a payload stack of 6 payloads of comprising only one stack, and together on the capsule they can have such 6 stacks. So it means up to 36 payloads can be flown at once, although today it's only 30 payloads. And worth mentioning, out of 30 payloads, 29 will be inside the crew capsule and one will be on the surface of the booster, being exposed to the environment of space. Now here is a quick reference on your screen that how the payload stacks looks like. And on the very bottom of the, well, let me just show you this. The one you are seeing on the bottom left hand of your screen is the left-sided payload locker, and another is a double stack payload locker. And on the right hand lower side of your screen are those two gaming controller, consoler kind of looking stuff, that is the integrated payload controller. These payload controllers are only responsible for the data acquisition and computing unit mounted on the side wall of a payload locker, which provides power, command, and control, communication, data interference to each active payload. So with the help of this only, they will be accessing the data, as because it's not a crewed flight, it comprises of only payload. So, and also upon returning to back to earth, of course there will be some data to be gathered at that point also. During the lunar G phase, lunar gravity experience phase of the capsule, they will be getting some data. After descending the crew capsule, again they will be having some more data. Now about the vehicle, it is all known, but still um, repeating myself for those of who are not so much familiar with the vehicle. It's Blue Origin's new Shepard. It is made up of two parts mainly, the propulsion module and the separate crew capsule, which carries the astronaut crew or payloads. Today it's payload. Now, as of now, 5 propulsion modules from NS-1 to NS-5 and 4 New Shepard crew capsules, including the RSS Jules Verne, H.G. Wells' first tape, and Kármán line have been built. Now, today is the second flight for the NS-5 booster after its debut on NS-27 uncrewed flight test back in October last year. It's the second crew-rated propulsion module developed, and on NS-27 flight, a new crew capsule for Blue Origin, which is the Kármán line, also made its debut. But today the crew capsule is H.G. Wells. Overall, the New Shepard vehicle consists of the crew capsule attached to the propulsion module. The vehicle, when stacked, stands about 60 feet, that is 18 meters tall, and a diameter of 10 to 12 feet, that is 3 to 3.6 meters, including its fins. It is powered by a single BE-3 liquid rocket engine generating 489 kilonewton of thrust. Let me just give you a rough mission profile for the New Shepard launch. The mission starts after propellant loading and all system checks are completed. At that stage, New Shepard switches to fully autonomous mode for the rest of the mission. Upon liftoff, the vehicle ascends vertically for around 150 seconds before the main engine shut down in the upper atmosphere. And by upper atmosphere, it means Kármán line, that is 100 kilometers of altitude from Earth's surface. Then a few seconds after engine cutoff, the crew capsule detaches from the propulsion module, pushed away by mechanical springs. Both the crew capsule and the propulsion module then coast and re-enter separately. The vehicle experience microgravity for about 3 minutes before returning to Earth. Although it's not completely 3 minutes, it's less than 3 minutes. And the propulsion module lands back on a designated pad. For today, it's the North Landing Pad, restarting its engine and using its landing gear to make a vertical rocket power landing. The crew capsule, on the other hand, re-enters and lands with the help of 3 parachute system and retro thrust to reduce the impact on landing. Additionally, the crew capsule is equipped with a solid rocket motor that can safely propel it away from the propulsion module if any issues are detected before separation. After performing this escape maneuver, the crew capsule makes an independent parachute landing similar to a nominal mission profile. Now, on your screen, I'm pretty sure you did notice all those parts for the New Shepard rocket. But let me just very shortly tell you that what are these. So the crew capsule, as I mentioned, discussed it before, no need to repeat myself anymore. The ring and wedge fins, which are aerodynamically designed to stabilize the booster and reduce the fuel use on its flight back to Earth. Then we have brake brakes, brake drag brakes, 8 total of them, 8 numbers total of them, which deploy from the ring fins to reduce boosters' speed up by half on its descent from space. On the very bottom, we have BE-3PM engine, which propels the rocket to space and restarts to uniquely slow down the booster down to just 6 miles per hour for a controlled pinpointed landing on the pad. The AFT fins is responsible for stabilizing the vehicle during ascent, steering it back to the landing pad on descent, and guide the rocket through airspeeds above Mach 3. And landing gear comprises of 4 landing legs. You can say that, mm, which deploys just prior to the landing to provide the stability for the vehicle, for the booster. As of we are still, well, I did forgot to sync the timer. Let me just sync it. So we are currently 36 minutes away from the liftoff of New Shepard NS-29 mission. They are sticking with this liftoff time of the newly adjusted liftoff time of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 16:30 hours UTC from West Texas. So that's all I had to talk about today. But still, well, let me just find out that clip so that I can give you a rough idea about the payload. I have to turn off the audio because maybe that can give us some copyright issues. Here, just a second, where I kept that file, I forgot completely. Mm, Finding it, don't know where I kept it. But that one was a little informative. But anyways, well, the launch abort system for Tripica is really cool, but more than that, it is more important for, at least in a crewed flight. We know how critical things can be. Where I kept that file. It was quite interesting, and I wanted to show you guys. For that, I kept it, but right now I'm not finding it. Let me see if I can download it for you guys. Hopefully that Blue Origin won't be playing that specific clip, although they will be showing some other clips. They provided a link for the webcast. Well, they did finally. It's a good sign that I guess they won't be delaying the launch, and I think they're live. So wait, let's see if they are live. Then why not we are? Well, they are just showing the launch is starting soon. Coverage will be starting soon. So, well, it's there on your screen. Let them start. So we will be patching the audio feed as well. Right now, they are playing some audio like music, which is not so much important. Meanwhile, let me search for that clip which I was specifically searching. If I can show you guys. That one I got from NASA's website actually. And something interesting I noticed this time that just 1 day ago there is all the like there is a link that Blue Origin provided, which will redirect you to the NASA's website about lunar gravity simulation via suborbital rocket, and where they are providing the details about the each uh, payload. And further clicking on those individual payload, you will be redirected to another website known as NASA's Flight Opportunity, I guess. But from today morning, I'm seeing that that site is no more showing any more details about the payload. I don't know why this site would have worked. I could have provided you more details, but unfortunately couldn't. Well, I found that video. Well, let me just download it quickly and to play it for you guys. But I won't be able to play the audio once again. I'm saying you for that clip. I'm saying not just for the stream. For the stream, we will be patching the audio from Blue Origin's end upon their initiation of the stream. Welcome fast. I think it got downloaded now. Let me see. So this one is the clip for so that you guys can understand a little more about the payload, how they really will be working, and like to better understand them in action. So it's a cool animation, I think, made by NASA's end. This is the EDL electrostatic doft. dust lofting, which I described previously. All of this I described. Now you are seeing them in details, like in action. Ex- Excuse me. Now I will be again, as we are having some time, I will be again trying to discuss them a little fast, as we are like 15 minutes away from the webcast to begin. So this one is the for the space suit experiment, so that they can mitigate the dust mitigation category for today's payload, which I mentioned. So that one was the clot bot one. But really, these are quite fascinating experiments, like, and also quite critically, like they will be performing and to gather data just within 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes of the flight, experiencing the lunar gravity. So that was it. That much the clip is. I hope that made you guys to have some more deeper insight about the payload for today, how they will be performing when they will be experiencing the lunar gravity. Meanwhile, would like to welcome once again all of you for joining us, and would like to encourage you guys to engage with us on our chat, as we are having some free time before the webcast to begin. So why not to know each other? Well, what is Blue Origin's timer is showing? Let me see. I can see it in this, so that we can sync our timer with their ones. So they are saying 26 minutes away. So we are ahead of them. 26 minutes, and let's make it to 30 seconds. And okay, let it come to 30 seconds. I will reset. Well done. I guess the timer is now synced with the Blue Origins one. Well, yes, Pika, these payloads are really interesting. When I was going through them for the stream purpose to research on them, to know more about them, they are really quite interesting one. And the most one, a favorite of mine is that HB one, the honeybee one. Well, it is wet. Let me just say, with that they will be using the viscous, like, to have a viscous fluid uh, to trap the gases or the oxygen, and then to extract it. And literally, like they will be using honey for that. So I like that one more. Like, it's a simple idea, but quite interesting. It seems like that kind of, with this experiment, it seems like that Jurassic Park's resin, in which the mosquito was got trapped after biting the dinosaur, and from that they extracted the DNA. So it seems like that kind of giving that feeling with that experiment. Well, I think that one was the HB one. But About Lunar one, I think you got that update from X that we were previously aiming for the moon. Now with the Elon's Starship, now he's targeting is like skipping the moon and targeting the Mars. So, and hopefully with the new administration coming into effect, the Artemis program will be alive. So really, the moon one will be fascinating one. Of course, the Mars is going to Mars and to explore Mars is interesting and challenging to us. But why not to start from like close to our home? So first, let's start with the moon, then to the Mars. Although the Mars is an ambitious, it's quite ambitious target, but we will achieve that. So, which I was saying about my favorite one was the honey bubble excitation experiment. It is called HB. They will be using a viscous material, as I said, to trap the evolved gases, compressed gases, oxygen, and then to extract it. It's another alternative to have oxygen from the regolith. So I like this one. Like just a simple idea from honey trapping. Like when we are dripping honey on our food, sometimes the bubbles are getting trapped in it. So just from that, this idea may be sparked in someone's mind. Well, this experiment will be specifically carried out by Honeybee Robotics, which is a subdivision of Blue Origin itself. So today's many of the payloads are from them also, from the Honeybee Robotics. Apart like 17, to be specific, 17 is from NASA, and rest other are from different customers, including the Honeybee Robotics. And yes, about once again, just for a reminder that today 30 payloads are there, and out of them 29 will be on board, like inside the crew capsule, and one will be on the booster. So not all 30 of them are inside the crew capsule today. I think that the which one they will be placing on the booster is for somehow to test some other like data when exposed to the space environment. Well, let's just stay at this place. Why to stay there? Now, once again, we have a request for you guys that if you haven't, please consider giving this video a like, which helps YouTube's algorithm to push this video to more space enthusiasts like you and to be discovered by others. We will be super grateful for that. And thanks once again for joining us today as we are waiting for the webcast to begin. We are just around 4 minutes because they will be starting the webcast 15 minutes earlier from the liftoff time. So we are just around 4 minutes away from the webcast to begin. Now, just for a recap, let me just tell you quickly, as we are just 3 minutes nearly from the webcast to begin, that today's flight is an uncrewed flight having 30 payloads on board, which will be testing, which will be experiencing firstly the lunar gravity experience is for the first time with the new Shepard, which they are making their lunar G capabilities online with this NS-29 mission. And today's payload will test 6 broad lunar technology areas. First is the in situ resource utilization, also known as ISRU. And as the name suggests, that in situ, which itself means on site, to make use of the resources on site. Next is the dust mitigation, the issues with the lunar dust, which mostly is fatal and dangerous to even uh, like even equipments, which clogs them even. So next up is the advanced habitation system is the next section which today's payload will be focusing. Some sensors and instrumentation testing will be carried out with today's payload, some small spacecraft technologies as well, and some some experiments will be tested for the entry, descent, and landing on the lunar surface. So these are the 6 categories on which today's payload will be focusing, and I discussed them in detail previously. So if you guys want more details, you can just seek back to know more more about each of them. I'm not repeating anymore. How much it is left? The webcast started. Let them to have the audio, and I'm making the audio on. Here on AstroYonder, adding value to your viewing experience is our topmost priority. If you felt we somewhat achieved that, consider liking this video and also consider subscribing to our channel as we work hard to bring you streams packed with stats, details, and insights. We would be incredibly grateful for your support. Now we are just some couple of seconds maybe from the webcast to begin. Just I guess it's getting 12 days from today. We had the new Glen launch, and today is the new Shepard 1.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live broadcast on today's New Shepard Mission 29. I'm Joel Eby, and with me is Alice Watts, engineer on the New Shepard program. Alice, welcome.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and excited to share another great New Shepard launch with you. Today marks the 29th mission overall for our New Shepard flight program, and it's a really special one. Today, it's all about the moon. We're going to be spinning up the capsule to simulate lunar gravity for our payload customers on board.
It's so cool and totally unique. The first time we've ever tried to do this. The program's come a long way, and note that this is the first New Shepard mission since our inaugural New Glenn flight into orbit just a couple weeks ago. So now New Shepard is one of 2 active launch systems at Blue Origin. What a time.
I know, so crazy. That launch was incredible to watch. We've spent years looking forward to that moment, and now it's an all new era for Blue.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think, I was there in Florida for that launch, and we were able to enjoy, hearing the BE-4 engines lighting up from the factory for the first time. Such an epic achievement for Blue Origin.
I'm sure you could feel it as well.
Close-up view of the booster. Well, Ken, let me just interrupt and remind you guys that today is the second flight of this booster, that is NS-5, previously which got debuted in the NS-27 mission back in October of last year. Now today is its second flight, and for today the crew capsule is the 8G Wells, and during that NS-27 mission a new crew capsule also got made its debut, is known as the Carmen line. So now enjoy the stream.
So getting back to today's flight, Alice, lay the groundwork for us. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, so there's no crew on board this one today. We're flying another one of our signature payload flights, though.
Yeah, and one remarkable thing about our system is that our capsule and engines and our boosters, they're all completely interchangeable between different vehicles. So you might remember we launched an all-new capsule and booster combo recently on our NS-27 mission. Today we're flying the reusable booster from that mission, but the capsule that we use for payloads is in action today. That one's been in flight since 2017. It's seen a lot of space action so far.
You're right. That capsule's had 10 flights so far, and overall, this will be the 14th payload flight for the program. And after today, we'll have flown over 175 payloads to space.
Amazing.
We now have 3 capsules and 2 boosters in service to better address all of the demand for our payload and astronaut customers.
We're already seeing that happen. We've flown 47 people above the Kármán line so far, and that accounts for nearly 7% of all astronauts to date. It's a thrilling time for space exploration, and for all of us here at Blue Origin. All right, we're at T-minus 12 minutes to go here. Let's talk about what do we have on board today.
Yeah, this flight is carrying 30 payloads, 29 of which are inside the crew capsule, and one of them is on the booster. Now, over half of these payloads are funded by NASA's Flight Opportunities Program. They're testing innovations critical to achieving the Artemis's program goals and exploring the lunar surface. The other half of the payloads come from universities and commercial providers. These are also testing innovations that advance various lunar efforts.
It's all about the moon. And speaking of testing, 4 of these payloads are from Honeybee Robotics, a Blue Origin company. The team there is doing some really, I'd say, some groundbreaking work, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would. After all, these technologies are all about breaking ground on the moon. Specifically, they're about lunar regolith, or the soil of the moon. They're researching how we'll excavate and process that soil. Honeybee is doing a lot of great work for us right now, as well as paving the way for future lunar exploration and habitation.
And if you've been following Blue, you know how important all this lunar research is for our mission and vision. So, hey, big shout out to the Honeybee team for all their incredible work. So let's get into a little bit more of the science here with this lunar spin technique. Alice, lay the groundwork for how we're going to do this.
Yes, so let's imagine spinning a bucket of water around in a circle, let's say. And the water stays pressed against the bottom of the bucket as you spin it because of the outward force created by the spin. Now, this force is called the centrifugal force. When the capsule spins today, everything inside will feel pushed outward towards the wall of the spacecraft. This outward force mimics gravity. Now, to simulate lunar gravity, which is about 1/6 that of Earth's gravity, the capsule's spin speed is carefully controlled. The faster it spins, the stronger the force. So the spin is calibrated to match the weaker pull of gravity on the moon. Now, this isn't real gravity, but rather a force that feels like gravity because of the spin. Today, we will be spinning at 11 rotations per minute, and compared to our normal spin rate of a half a rotation per minute, today's will be a much more intense spin, 22 times more intense to be specific.
That's pretty significant. And think about that. We're able to do this testing only 62 miles away from Earth, or that's where the Kármán line is, 100 kilometers, rather than having to go, all the way to the surface of the moon, or 240,000 miles away. So this testing is much more achievable. And what tell us like what
Well, you said it right. Optipica is like playing ballet, just like when those girls are like holding and have a spin. And hopefully, we will be able to see that spin on board if they will be having some camera,
What kind of technologies are required
because that is the
for
main
those tests
part,
you're
fun part of
working
today's
Well, you'd need to cover these 6
launch.
crucial areas: in situ resource utilization, or ISRU, dust mitigation, advanced habitation systems, sensors and instrumentation, small spacecraft technologies, as well as entry, descent, and landing technologies. It's quite a full range of lunar testing we're able to do.
Yeah, and the fact that all this proves these technologies, we can prove these technologies at a lower cost on New Shepard. It's kind of another step towards Blue's mission of radically reducing the cost of spaceflight. And up until now, if you wanted to simulate the moon's gravity, you could only do that.
Again, some close-up views of the booster, those umbilicals connected with the booster, providing the power to the booster. I guess power, payload, and electrical connections.
And they're capable of testing much larger payload sizes. On top of all of that, it allows research to get their test results back the same day, just a few hours right after the capsule lands. So yeah, New Shepard is not just a launch vehicle, it is essential for the testing of technology that will make a sustained presence on the moon possible.
Well, thank you for that groundwork there. All right, we're coming up here. As you acknowledged, there's a hold going on here with the clock. We're about 2 minutes into the hold. We expect the mission control team soon to be ready for to do the go poll to proceed into terminal count, but they're going to have to clear this hold first. So we are going to toss it over to the rocket as we get a little bit more information about what's going on. So stand by, and let's visit New Shepard out of the pad.
Right now we are in a hold, and I think this is a expected hold. And as they said that after the hold will be getting done, they will be going with the go no go poll. Well, they are playing some music out there. Well, hopefully not. I don't want it to get scrubbed again. I have to be staying working for these things to manage. Let's see. We will be getting an update sooner from them. Now, as you guys may heard it from the commentator from Blue Origin, that today's mission is quite a unique one, as the new Shepard's crew capsule will be spinning during its coast phase, reaching the apogee, crossing the Kármán line, which will create a gravity similar to that on Moon. As because it's spinning, it will be due to the centrifugal forces. It will be having that simulated environment, which will be giving a experience of lunar gravity. Although we know the moon's gravity is 1/6 of Earth, so hopefully they will be having that to achieve. Maybe not completely to 1/6, or maybe closer to that. And during this, well, just a second.
Today. We are still in a hold. The hold is, as you can see, it's ticking up there at about 6 minutes and counting. We're still getting information about what's going on with the vehicle from the mission control team, so stand by for that. But you know, while we're in a hold, it's good to remind people about the New Shepard program broadly. So let's talk about the incredible contribution the New Shepard's made into the commercial space industry so far. You know, New Shepard, it is something that has dramatically helped to improve access to space. And
We are yet to get an update because the countdown right now is in hold, and they are figuring out what is the issue, and hopefully they will be providing us with an update.
Regularly, it's now everyday people that can travel beyond this planet. Space is really starting to open up, and it's no longer just the professionals that can experience spaceflight. So with that, hey, let's take a moment and look at some of the ways that flying to space on New Shepard has impacted so many astronauts to date.
Again, they will playing some clips. Okay. Well, Pop the Pika, now it feels the same to me as well. Well, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they can launch it today. As of now, I think, if I'm not wrong, New Shepard made its ninth human crewed flight, I guess, if I'm not wrong, with the NS-28 mission. And another thing I'm not understanding, that why Blue Origin people are deleting streams from their YouTube accounts. I did saw that during the New Glenn one, which got scrubbed, they deleted it. I didn't find any stream for NS-28. NS-28 is missing. NS-27 is there. NS-28 is missing. Now today it's NS-29. Hopefully they will be keeping it on their YouTube account. And well, that center that center on the crew capsule, which you are noticing a gray circular disc kind of, that is the crew escape system. And today during the spin of that crew capsule, that lunar gravity experience, it will be the highest at that center of that capsule specifically. So I guess the payloads will be made in such an arrangement with their requirements, that how much gravity they want to experience. Now wait, let's hear if they have something to say for us.
Those first moments of our astronauts exiting the capsule, they're breathing in Earth's air again, and they're letting their reactions about what they just went through just completely spill over. It's one of the best parts of watching humans fly to space. You can really see the impact that it's made to each of those special astronauts when they're able to view Earth from space through those windows.
Yes, it's an incredible moment for everyone, and it's,
Well, would like to welcome Angry Bird. Thanks for tuning in. Also, would like to once again welcome you guys, and thank you as well for tuning in. as we are streaming the New Glenn, oh, pardon me, New Shepard's NS-29 mission.
And the beautiful blue Earth, and they return with a newfound hope for the future of Earth.
So yeah, let's talk about. Today we're doing a payload flight, the 14th payload flight. We talked about.
Yes, Typica, they are still holding.
Lunar spin technology that we're going
They
to
are talking
simulate lunar gravity.
like here and there stuff, so it means they are holding. I don't have to even look at the counter, I guess.
Like what we're doing today, it's great for opening up the gateways of humans and all kinds of new humans to be able to access space.
So the hold is, as of now, it's 11 minutes.
Like, tell us what's going on with New Shepard as a program. What's coming up?
Yeah, demand is just going up here on the New Shepard program. Blue will be, we'll be increasing our cadence capacity over the year, and but one thing we will never compromise on is safety. We like to talk about all of the redundant safety systems we have all over.
Let me have this camera to be moved from here to here, so that we can look at the timer as well. But later on I will be again switching my sides, because at this side, on the left hand side of your screen, they will be showing those events going on. Well, Angry Bird, yes,
we can fly in clouds.
all good.
Our camera systems, of course, they can't always see clearly through the
For
clouds.
me, I'm doing well, and I hope Optipica is.
Nothing's necessarily going to prevent us, but they're still taking a look at weather. I think they've sent a weather balloon up there, and they're waiting for the right data to show up with the results of that weather balloon check. So that's what's causing the hold at the moment. So we're going to keep waiting through this hold as we give the mission team some time to get the right data that they're looking for. So getting back to New Shepard,
So they are searching for data, keeping the launch on hold. They are looking for maybe some critical data for that. Maybe they made it on hold, and it's been more than 1 hour, I guess. And I started with my details about the payloads and things, but later on Blue Origin adjusted their lift-off time with 30 minutes, and upon that, now we are and hold.
Is of utmost priority here.
All right, so still in a hold, 13 minutes and counting. We're going to just toss it back to the rocket, keep enjoying these live views that are coming from West Texas of New Shepard on the pad. And we will be right back as soon as we have a little bit more information. Stand by.
So again, waiting for some more information, and it doesn't pop to pick. I feel your intuitions are getting right, and today I can't say much about it because there are no faces on the screen. If I got to see any faces saying all this stuff, I would have guessed whether it will be launching or not. And excuse me, an Angry Bird, what things you are seeing on chat? Be careful. I'm doing fine, Angry Bird. Yesterday I was feeling a little more sick, but today I'm better than yesterday. But I guess I won't be able to stream the ISRO launch coming up in less than 12 hours, I guess. Right now, how much it is. 6 and 2, like 8 hours from now, so I won't be able to stream that because my health is not permitting. But yes, we will be streaming the Spain set new generation 1 launch with the SpaceX Falcon 9. So there is no worries, but I will still try my hard like to stream the ISRO one, but although I'm not at all prepared with anything about it, and I don't want to just well keep it up, Rebecca. No worries. Let them have some update for the hold, and you can focus on this, giving on that, or else now focus on that, giving on this.
All right, everyone, welcome back. This is the NS-29 mission for New Shepard. This is the 14th payload flight for our vehicle program. We're still in a hold as we are awaiting the right weather conditions for flight today. But while we're in hold, let's revisit that exciting flight that happened just a couple weeks ago. We talked about that at the top of the show. The New Glenn 1 NG-1 mission, which is the first orbital mission for Blue Origin. For years, we've been, doing these New Shepard broadcasts and talking about the, what's going on behind the scenes as the New Glenn team builds and designs and builds and tests the New Glenn vehicle. Well, that's now, for the first time ever, it's behind us, and we had a great, successful flight. So we're thrilled that we got to cross this important milestone of reaching orbit on our New Glenn vehicle. Let's go take a look back at how that flight went.
Well, we don't want to. We want to see this one. Oh well. So right now they are saying it's some issues with the weather. Previously they were mentioning that they want to have some data, specific data, to resume the hold currently which we are in. Now they are saying to have some weather issues. Well, Poplipika, I didn't notice about that. Well, means some few days ago I was noticing something about the supersonic planes, but I'm pretty sure it's not about this breaking the speed of sound, record of the speed of sound. It was something else. Else I would have paid attention, and I will have a look at that. Or else you can ping me on the Discord about that. Just provide me a relevant link so that I can have a look to that. What I said, Angry Bird. And no, not today. Today there is no woman there. Only one woman was there. Now also she's not commenting.
Forget that moment where the camera zooms in to see those 7 BE-4 engines all lit up together.
I know those mock diamonds were crazy. I've seen them during an engine test down in Texas, but like one engine, not 7 engines.
Totally.
So to see them all together on the
Today we only have the audio feed from Blue Origin's commentators, so we don't have any visual feed.
For so many years, you're, building.
And thanks, Bob, if you will, in advance for sending me the link.
Showing what New Glenn's going to look like when it's flying. There's only so much you can do to imagine it though ahead of time, and when the
I
moment.
was just thinking in between to ping you on Discord too, because from a long time I didn't
Surprises you with the reality of
talk
all that power
to you specifically on Discord. I have to learn how Discord works. And when I said that I am a con man, Angry Bird, I didn't say it so.
People have asked me about The payload that was aboard that day, talk about that. Where is it now?
Yeah, the payload that was aboard New Glenn is it's a Pathfinder for our Blue Ring, and in fact, it's still up in orbit. It's going to be in a permanent orbit with the second stage, and will remain up there basically forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
So amazing. So we're looking forward to, of course, what's next with New Glenn, as well as these ongoing flights for New Shepard. So, hey, we're still in a hold here, 20 minutes and counting. Let's take a moment and check back in with our mission control team and see if they got any updates for us.
Currently, for the New Glenn's booster landing, Blue Origin is undergoing an mishap investigation with the FAA. Now, this will really impact their next second certification flight for the New Glenn. Earlier, which was tentatively planned for March. I think if the investigation will have some delays, then it will be getting the launch for the second certification flight will delay also. Well, appropriately, did you notice how that man said forever? Like he is like forever. It's like getting mesmerized saying that word forever. It will decay, it will deorbit, it will burn into the atmosphere, many things will happen, but not forever. We are still waiting for some updates. As of now, the hold is itself 22 minutes, getting 23 minutes. Other than our moderators here, those of you joining us, can you please let us know that from where you are joining us? Well, of course, even when they said about the weather, I looked at the sky. It looks a little bit cloudy, but let's see. Previously, like their statements are like not what can I say, consistent. Previously, they said they are looking for some data. Then they came up with the weather issues. But if it is weather issues, then yes, it is evident on the sky. But today's weather, they are saying that cloudy with a shower in spots this afternoon. And tonight, like for the night, it can be have some thunderstorm as well. So maybe the weather is the issue. Angry Bird, I don't know how long it will last. Let's see when they will be saying about any updates. Then when they will have any updates for the hold, then only we will be able to know that how long this can be stretched or it will be getting done. Scrub for today.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the NS-29 mission, our 14th flight for a payload flight on New Shepard program today. As you can see, we are in an extended hold here. We are waiting for a good weather open. As you can see, there's a lot of cloud cover going on in Texas. We want to make sure that the conditions for the weather are just right for flight today. I know personally, I am looking forward to seeing whatever we might be able to see from the camera views on the ground of the Lunar G-spin technique that we're going to do today. So, I mean, definitely we want to see clear skies if it's possible, but as you can see, it's a lot of cloud cover. We're just assessing the conditions right now with the weather before we decide to fly. So bear with us. We're going to keep waiting for this hold as the team looks for a good opening today.
It's the weather they are having the issues with. Now for that cloud cover, they are holding as of now. What things you are writing here, Angry Bird? Well, Angry Bird, I didn't got finished with the Discord one. I tried it. I tried it once again. My best to have a look at the Discord server, but to get it done with those rules you can say to be made. But again, I'm confused and I left it. But I do have a personal Discord account, so in that me and Bob Topeka are talking. Topeka and I talk everywhere. Discord, X, wherever it's possible. Well, the previous stream we got to have Fairmaid with us. I'm pretty sure not sure it's so late at her place, so Fairmaid is not with us. And Mr. Vlad is busy with his studies and exams, so he's not there as well. So out of the full house, only me, Angry Bird, and Pika, we all three out of our moderators are here. And yes, some pretty guests with us.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we've been in 30 minutes of hold almost here as we are assessing the weather conditions for today's launch. We want to make sure we're flying with just the right conditions. So the team is looking at that information. It sounds like they're not loving what they're seeing so far, but we are going to keep standing by to see if we can find a good window for this flight to be able to lift off today and have a successful flight to space. So stand by with us. We're going to keep viewing these great live views of our rocket getting ready on the pad today. We'll be with you.
My question is, even if they are searching for a launch window right now, how they will be like? They will have an instantaneous launch window or something? Why they didn't? Yes, it's weather, of course, because they see it. They see it because it's they are having good amount of cloud cover there, so they are looking for a launch window. But the thing is, even if they will be finding a launch window, it should be a span of time, no? So it's not that all of a sudden the clouds will disappear and they will launch. So I think they will be stretching this stream longer, or else they will be scrubbing. Let's see what they will be doing. Oh well, yes, Paprika, it's noon at your place. That I know. It's like that's also, I don't know specifically the time region for you, but Eastern time is 11:52 a.m. But here it's like night. 10:30 is getting approximately. We are like 10.5 hours ahead than you. They are from Texas, I guess, Paprika. And whenever I say Texas, it reminds me of young Sheldon. They were also in the Texas. Yes, even instead of stretching the stream like this, they should be like better to drop down it. And why even the like this weather conditions, it can be for like can be predicted earlier also, no, before having to have a launch attempt. I don't know why they made it like this. No Angry Bird, I can zoom the live image from them. I can stretch it, but not zoom. I can't zoom it.
All the continuous weather conditions right here in Texas for the launch. So why don't we take a look at what goes into making some of these weather calls for New Shepard.
Launch day.
Again, they don't have anything to say or do. They're playing some clips. And about the zooming, don't tell me anymore, Angry Bird, to have plugins on my OBS. My OBS will burst out. It's already having nearly 10 of them. All the people are having more, but I don't know my OBS. Again, yesterday for 4.5, maybe 4 to 5 hours, it just took me to solve an issue with OBS. What this caused, like, it's really hectic one. Yes, that is right, Pop Repic. Like maybe there are some possibilities. That's why they are still hanging on. But my point is that to consider this kind of weather things to like before attempting a launch, which I'm pretty sure they can, or anyone can. With the like we for general publics, we don't have such technology and access, but they can. So.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into making these weather calls. every time I see that video, I'm reminded about all the complexity that the team has to be able to track as they're looking for all the right weather conditions for flight. So,
yeah, and it's not necessarily just what you see, you know, from the ground. There's a whole layer of atmosphere that we have to go and make sure is good for New Shepard. You know, we rely on that to make sure that we have a safe launch and land for the booster and capsule. So lots of work that goes into predicting weather and assessing weather on launch day.
Now, I can say from the camera side, like we have these long-range cameras that are sitting on the ground ready to point up at the rocket and watch it in flight. Once it does pass through a cloud layer, we have, you know, infrared cameras to be able to kind of look through that. And that's why if you've watched these broadcasts before, that's probably what you might remember noticing is sort of these funny colored views that are infrared cameras that are picking up heat signatures from the vehicle that are on the other side of the clouds. So that's possible too, but it's always nice to be able to fly in a completely...
Look at this view with this like shimmering kind of effect.
They're still waiting for these conditions there's a potential window. They're holding it open for this window, so stand by, bear with us. I know it's never fun to wait through all these holds, but sometimes you just got to wait for the right conditions. So we're going to keep standing by here. Let's toss it back to New Shepard as we check in again with our mission control team.
So as I said that they have a possibility, so they are still looking into that if they can to target that launch window, then no scrub as maybe they will, but hopefully keeping fingers crossed that they don't have to. Right now we are in a hold into the launch countdown for Blue Origin's upcoming New Shepard NS-29 mission, which is set to carry a diverse array of payloads on a journey to the edge of space. And with this mission, Blue Origin is bringing their missions with Lunar G capabilities online for the first time, and made possible with support from NASA as well. The NS-29 mission will have a spin with its capsule to create a gravity similar to that. I think, wait, just a second.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're still waiting through this hold as the mission team assesses weather conditions for today's flight. While we're in the hold, let's take a moment to recognize some of the people who work at Blues, the individuals who drive.
Well, again, they will be playing some videos related to what I was saying, that today's mission, they will be spinning the crew capsule with the payload on board to create a gravity similar to that on Moon. And this environment allows scientists to test how different technologies and experiments behave under lunar-like conditions. For example, like researchers will observe how fluid move, how fire burns, and how bubbles form in this special gravity. This I just said in a rough way, but in a more technical way, it's really a huge science that will be going on. So these studies helps prepare for future missions to the moon by ensuring that equipment and process will work as expected in the lunar environment.
Yeah, Darren's work at Blue is a great example of how he supports our important company mission, and I can tell just from the footage there he's doing that from the Huntsville location where we manufacture. It's our high-rate manufacturing for our engines, our factory there, and that factory did such amazing work last year as we kind of ramped up production on readiness for NG1.
They're not providing any update as of now, but they are holding on for a potential launch window which they may be found for the upcoming NS-27 mission, which is right now on hold due to the cloud cover there on the West Texas.
Joining our mission, we need great people across so many of the verticals and so many locations here at the company. So please do us a favor, check out those job listings online at blueorigin.com/careers. You know, career in aerospace, working right alongside all of us here at Blue to build a road to space for the benefit of Earth. That career could be closer than you think.
With this commentator's voice, I am having some vibes of Gerard Butler sometime when how he is saying. I hope so, Paprika. If they will have a scrub, then at least they should have at least 1 day of gap in between, because I can't stand like this way working always. Let me see, like I will try to, but depends on how long this stream will be stretching. I will try to call you. No, I didn't say it about Eric Berger. I said about Gerard Butler. That man from PS, I Still Love You or something like that movie was, no? I did saw some of his movies, but right now I'm not having his name to be, like those names of the movies to be recalling. Now, with this new Shepard launch, why it is a little critical, because previously with the to reach a zero G environment, there was two ways, that either to have the zero G gravity research facility, which is hosted by NASA's Glenn Research Center, which is one of the two drop towers located at the NASA site in Brook Park, Ohio, which provides researcher with a near weightlessness environment for a duration of 5.18 seconds. And in case of parabolic flights using Boeing KC-135A or C9 or the Airbus 310 0G vehicle, etc. So those parabolic flights is like are providing a near weightlessness environment for a duration of approximately 20 seconds. Whereas if New Glenn will be again I'm saying New Glenn, New Shepard will be making it through with this mission, then they will be offering at least 2 minutes of lunar gravity environment, not only 0G lunar gravity, because they will be spinning the crew capsule. So this one will be really a game changer for researchers who are seeking for this kind of environment for their researches. Just imagine NASA's that 0G gravity research facility 5.1 second, whereas parabolic flights providing 20 seconds. But in case here, Blue Origin is providing at least 2 minutes, not only 0G gravity environment, moreover lunar gravity environment for the payloads. So really interesting, and I guess if they will be successful, this one it will be really boosting their business model as well. Don't know about dizziness, Bob Tripica, but you will be glued to the window of the New Shepard crew capsule. But there's said 11 revolutions per minute, so that won't be like, I think, not so much fast. Sometimes when we were kids, we used to spin standing in our own, like in one place now. So that time only, I think we used to spin more than this 11 revolutions per minute. That's a joke for the kids. Now let's hear to them what they are saying.
Through this extended hold here. 48 minutes and counting on this hold. This is one of the longer ones we've seen, but of course there's the team in mission control is looking for just those ideal conditions for flight, and the weather balloon that they had sent up, they're just assessing the data is coming back from that weather balloon, and they're just hoping to find a good window here. So bear with us. We're still looking for that great window for flight today. We're in contact with mission control here in the background, and we'll just keep bringing you updates as long as there's a chance we're still going to fly today. So bear with us. Let's toss it back out to New Shepard as we wait through this hold.
Well, we are beering. I'm getting to feel like a beer. Yes, I guess it's that Spartan one. He was there, no? 300, that movie? Or mostly I remember his first movie which I saw, I was that Yes, I Still Love You, I think, that movie. And some other movies, but I'm not remembering the names right now. The Gerard Butler kind of sound he's having in his voice sometimes, like when he's concluding his part of a sentence. Yes, Papa, Angry Bird, I know you did so, but that one was a good idea. As I said, we talked about this. What again? You were starting with Nimic, what things? Patronymic. But Bob Tripika, you gave a good comparison with this one previously. It's like ballet. Just New Shepard crew capsule won't be having that kind of skirts which those girls are wearing during the ballet. But while Crew capsule is not having any fins, as it would have been looked like that, the booster is having fins. So if the booster will be made it to upside down and then to revolve, then it will be like, and with the fins deployed, it will be looking like perfect ballet dancers. No, I'm just seeing about Pop Typica. Previously, Pop Typica mentioned that uh, about the spinning of the crew capsule on the when it will be reaching the apogee, that peak height, crossing the Kármán line, they will be spinning it, okay, for 11 revolutions per minute. So, listening to that, Pop Typica said it's like to have a ballet. So about that, I'm saying that it's a perfect example, like how Bob Typica said, in simple terms. It's all fine. I'm getting grandpa with time, not understanding Discord, talking in Chinese. Well, I can talk in Chinese at least a little. Ni hao ma.
We're still in a hold here.
Now let's listen.
Conditions for the possible liftoff of New Shepard today on the NS-29 mission, the 14th flight of our payload system, our payload flights. This is the 14th one, and we've got some really cool Lunar G technology that is going to be tested on this flight. So we want to make sure the conditions are just right to get all those tests successfully sent to space. So while we're in a hold, while we got all these great live view cameras down in West Texas of our launch pad there in West Texas, launch site 1, let's zoom out a little bit and talk about the area where we launch, which is near the town of Van Horn, Texas. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at the home of New Shepard down in West Texas, Van Horn.
Again, some videos. Well, still, they are optimistic about today's liftoff. So, let's see. And Pop Typica, you never saw such a long hold. And I, like, sadly, or whatever you can say, like, mostly I never see new Shepard launches even. Only one time, as I said previously, one time we did try to cover their live coverage. Upon that, I gave up on it. I don't know. I'm not so much into this. Although I'm not saying they are not doing good or it's not a thing to see, but I'm not quite fond of this. Sub-orbital flights, it doesn't excite me, to be true. Only this SpaceX, that's also is a sub-orbital flight I'm more excited about because of the launch vehicle and its engineering part. Other than that, okay, this time they were saying that they will be deploying those payload Starlink simulators. So for that, I was a little interested. Like, if you will be not considering about the suborbital flight section, let's see here if they will be providing us any update.
Gosh, that place, it's like a second home to me. I've spent much time down there over the last few years here, and I will never forget the drive on Highway 54 to the launch site on those early launch mornings with the sun rising, those panorama shots of the desert. I love that place. It's just the perfect area for our astronauts.
No updates they are providing as of now. Well, yes, the crewed flights are the epitome, you can say, the best of one person can witness, to experience, to see it.
Why is it that Blue Origin chose such a remote place to build a launch site, in the middle of the desert?
Yeah, the answer to that is partially it's just space to operate, space for space. There's been so much room down there for us to operate not only this rocket, but a lot of the other test activities.
And but to be true about I'm just saying my opinion and what I like and what I don't like. What they are doing, yes, it's a good thing that they are making this opportunity available to common persons, that they can fly to space and experience the zero gravity. But again, it seems like that same thing, that those parabolic flights which they are using for like other kind of space missions, and even for the Polaris Dawn they were using that parabolic flight only. There you are getting 20 seconds of microgravity 0G. Here you will be getting a little longer. So that, of course, that makes a difference for that person who is experiencing it. But other than that, they are also making it to have crewed people and to launch the new Shepard, but it's not like to go into ISS or something. So that one is really, for me also, it's far more intriguing.
So even though we don't really broadcast anymore from the launch site itself, it used to be that when we did these New Shepard broadcasts, we would sort of, all camp out down there. It was like, doing a week of space camp for all of us fans of rocketry, and that was fun. We don't broadcast from down there anymore. You and I are sitting here in our Kent headquarters to do this, but we get these live camera views that...
Which people I don't like. Angry Bird, I'm not understanding again about what you are referring.
The morning drive when you are, waking up in Van Horn before the sun has come up and you're driving into the site. It's about, 25 miles or so. The sun is crusting over those mountains on the east. It's a really special feeling.
Yeah, I've got a very special playlist I listen to every launch morning, and I still have that tradition today, driving in here early morning. So that beautiful sky there, the stars. Just
And one thing really will be like, I won't be holding myself to say this. It's really frustrating that Blue Origin is such a, they want to have a competition directly with SpaceX. Fine, that's quite good. But how about their live streams they are performing? Is really not up to the mark. Instead of talking about this playlist, sunrise, and these things, they could have talked more about the payloads. It will be like far more interesting listening to these jargons.
58 minutes, we're approaching about an hour of hold as we give the mission team time to just assess the conditions ready for flight. Again, they're looking primarily at the weather right now and making sure that they have a good window to operate this mission. Once again, this is a very special kind of mission for Blue Origin. This is the first time we're ever going to do this.
Similarly, they did with the New Glenn launch also. With that also, they didn't provide enough details, which people want to know.
Basically creating a centrifuge in the crew capsule, and all of our payloads that we have on board today are kind of geared up to take advantage of that lunar G spin. So it's a very special mission, and we just got to make sure the conditions are just right to get this one done. So please bear with us. What we're hearing is that we have just a little bit more time that the mission team wants to be able to give to assess the conditions for flight. So I think it could be another 20 minutes or so from what we're hearing, that they're going to leave this window open and keep assessing the conditions for flight. So
it's really hard for them, I can understand, but instead of filling this time with this kind of talking about the company things. They could have been saying about the actual things, not that the rocket. They're like, okay, fine, talk about the engines, talk about the whole mechanism, how it works. Okay, you don't have to disclose the trade secret. You won't be discussing or disclosing that how really the science behind it going on, as other one will be having a copy of that. So fine, but at least the things which we space nerds are expecting to know always. Instead of searching here and there, we could have an official thing to be heard from their end. Same, I'm saying about the same thing, Popper Picker. Instead of saying these things, as I discussed, okay, I can say that my description about the payload, how I said it won't be like up to the mark, but for them it would be like they have the resources, they have the pictures, they have the videos, they could have showed all those things to us. We would have known things more in a better way. When you are working for a company, you have to praise. Like it or not, you have to. Well, during this last one, yesterday I was during testing this OBS, I was making those Flight 7 to play and to then to have a mimic of streaming on my OBS. So I was playing that Flight 7, and during that time did like and to pop to pick an Angry Bird. I'm saying Angry Bird was not there that time. Like I saw that Jessie, she was there, no, and the headquarters there, and so she was like making those crowds there in the waiting downstairs to like come scream, like now the camera will be like the audio feed is on, come scream, when they wanted to show the excitement at how people are excited for the Starship Flight 7. But once she signaled the personals down there, and they started like jumping and screaming. But that was quite funny that how she was like, come, scream. Well, they are having these kind of views only, no more other cameras. They should contact Starlink to have more cameras. Yes, it was on the live Angry Bird during this Flight 7. Your all-time favorite Jesse Anderson was making people to signal, come scream, guys. People want to see your excitement for Flight 7. You have to scream right now. Actually, just a second before, they were quiet and they were gossiping. It was quite audible that there's people were gossiping among themselves. But when Kate asked that uh, to share with us that how people are enjoying, so that time Jesse like facing towards the crowd, and I guess she was in a height, so she was like signaling to the people like come scream. In that I'm also like completely agreeing with you, Pop Topika. Although raising hands like this nowadays is getting problematic, so I won't be raising my hand. Sorry for that. I just lifted my hand like this, okay? No inclination is there with my hand, so I'm not following any kind of political things. So don't get confused. People are now raising hands and getting convicted that they are like of something or something. So Kate is something, Angry Bird. You won't understand that.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are still in a hold. We're giving the mission team time to assess the weather conditions for the flight today. As you can see, there's a heavy cloud cover going on. Like you said a little bit earlier, Alice, there's other things that we can't see with our eyeballs going on with the weather. We've sent up a weather balloon, and they're tracking specific conditions that they're looking for to make sure that we're ready for flight today. I personally can't wait to see the results of this mission, but of course, as with any mission, you got to make sure that the conditions are just right for flight. So we're going to keep giving them time. There's the mission team is saying that they need to assess this for a few more minutes to be able to know whether there's
Few more minutes, and I think mission control is in need of few more minutes, and I'm in need of few more pillows around me. I will fall asleep sitting here, I guess.
and we're right there with you. So bear with us. Let's toss it back to the rocket on the pad.
Bearing with you, Blue Origin. We will turn into Bear Grylls. Then we will go to the forest, jumping here and there. Queen of SpaceX, mermaid, anything, but something. She is something phenomenal. Yes, Angry Bird, I did slept, but not enough. Excuse me. Not enough. That time when I texted you, it was like 4 here in the morning, because yes, SpaceX also did. You saw that. SpaceX also delayed like 1.5 hour for their liftoff of 12-7 mission, Starlink. So after talking to you, I slept for like maybe 3 hours or something. Then I wake up, some issues with the home. So like normal course of home things to be done. So then again I started to work and ended up with this, making up this stream. Yes, Kate will be always there, mostly in the Starship flights is for sure. Excuse me, I'm yawning so much. I can see 5 people are there joining us on the stream for Blue Origin NS-29 mission launch. And apart from Pop Topeka and an Angry Bird, both are our moderators here. I guess rest 3 are my family members, relatives, keeping an eye on me. No way, Pop Topeka is fine whenever you will have. I know, we know that whenever you will have time, you will join us. So, but although I was mentioning about you that because I was thinking that it was like a daytime for you and why you didn't showed up. So I was thinking and saying about you. That time Angry Bird joined us. About the comment, like to provide commentary. Of course, Jesse, Kate, then another that Shiva Bharadwaj, and many are there. Like all are proficient there. There is no issue, but I personally like Kate because of her commanding voice she is having in her like commentary. It feels like she is dominating the commentary section. Maybe it's my like biasness towards her or something, but it sounds nice being a commentator. It's not like me like okay. Well, let's see. They have something to say.
As we are assessing the conditions for launch, and the team is still working their way through, looking for that good window to be able to launch today. Bear with us, stand by with us, as it takes a lot of patience to get through a hold like this, but that's okay. We've got to make sure that we're ready for flight, and all those factors got to line up just right. So in the meantime, we're here just plugged into the mission control in the background and making sure that we get all those updates, and we still have a window, a possibility that we are going to be able to lift off today, so that's what we're hoping for here. So bear with us as we look for that ideal.
We bearing with Blue Origin, bearing with Blue Origin BBO. We are currently doing the BBO phase, bearing with Blue Origin. I just said commanding voice. It's nothing such bad what I said, Angry Bird. And yes, that's also true. What Pop Typica is saying about her passion. Jessie, it's like a cheerful, like she's always cheerful, happy kind of, but the passion is not so much of getting expressed by her. And to show your passion, there has to be a little bit of seriousness also. You can be like so much jubilant, like happy and showing your passion. It's like passion, the word itself, it's passion. It has to be filled with a little bit of seriousness. Yes. What I said, I know I didn't say anything bad.
Welcome back, everybody. We're still in a hold as we, as a reminder, we're waiting for the mission team to look for that right ideal condition, especially with the weather going on today in West Texas. You can always see that cloud cover before the launch here with the live pictures that we're seeing right here. So as Alice noted a few minutes ago, there's a lot more that goes on than what you can actually see with your eyeballs. And so they've got a weather balloon that they've sent up, and they're assessing just the right conditions in the upper atmospheres, and pretty much the entire way from Texas to space and back. It's got to be just right for flight. So we're giving them that time to make that assessment and hopefully hold on to this narrowing window that we have in front of us in terms of an opening for flight. So we're hopeful. In the meantime, while we got a little bit of time here, these views that we have, the live cameras that we have coming back to us from Texas, are showing New Shepard on the pad, and you can kind of see one of the features, I would say, of the flight today, the lunar gravity spin. We're using the payload crew capsule that we've seen fly many times now. It's sitting on top of the booster. There's a good picture of it. You can see the feather graphics that are overlaying the crew capsule there. And they're matched up with our newest tail, our newest booster, which actually has a little bit of a different painting scheme, but that's okay. They're interchangeable. The whole system is designed to be modular. So
fine. They are now saying about the feather design painting. Well, absolutely, I agree with you, Angry Bird. I'm not at all expressive, and that is my problem. I'm not able to express myself well, and even if I will express myself, it will be like to people it seems like I'm like being a robot kind of. I completely understand that, and I agree with that. So but why it is there that I have to be expressive when I'm admiring someone else, queen of SpaceX? That this topic should not be coming here about my expressiveness. I'm talking about someone else. And thanks for supporting Paprika. You are standing by Blue Origin, standing by with us. I guess you will be keep standing only in this way. If we will be standing by, standing by.
We'll see that here in a moment. We're now looking at the bottom of the vehicle, of the propulsion module. This is where you can see just down there at the bottom the nozzle of the BE-3 engine. That is what propels New Shepard to space. That will light here hopefully soon. And now with the capsule view right on the top, as Joel mentioned, the liveries are slightly mismatched today, but that is okay. This is our payload capsule. It's flown 10 times to space and back. If you look carefully through the windows there, some of the largest windows in space, and you can see the payload lockers that we have. There's a variety.
Well, Blue Origin is also working on future larger windows for, I think, their NASA's Artemis program. They are working on that with NASA as well to provide more larger windows. Previously, we did saw that re-entry of the Orion capsule. So maybe for this, like that kind of, to have more wider view, like bigger view, they're working.
Hopefully, we'll see that retract shortly.
With NASA.
Get into the launch sequence.
Now, this particular view that we're looking at right now, this is the view that the astronauts would get if they're approaching the hatch, and the hatch, of course, would be open when they are approaching the hatch of the crew capsule in order to ingress into the crew capsule. This view always reminds me of back in the days
Let me see.
astronaut training,
Well,
the first human flight. I can't remember, Alice. Did you ever get a chance to play the role of an astronaut?
I did, yes.
we are getting like 3 or
Participate in the Astro.
getting close to 3 hours. Not, it didn't got 3 hours, but getting close to 3 hours.
Training.
We all are bored here.
Training all aspects of astronaut training and simulation and everything that it takes to.
They won't go Paprika. At least I got to know this from the New Glenn one. I was expecting that during the New Glenn one there will be, because that was the most anti, like so much people were crazy about that New Glenn will be launching a vehicle competing like with the Falcon Heavy. So in that stream, if they didn't provide details, how can we expect that they will be providing details about New Shepard? So
for one of those run-throughs, and yeah,
they are not at all good in providing details about the vehicle or neither the payload. What about the payload? They showed that slide which I made also, that about that, to talk about the categorization of the payload, that in situ, dust mitigation, this like 6 categories, and it's done. Nothing more about the payloads, what those payloads are for, what they are named. At least say about the names. Not the names are there.
In full sync, and we were.
Anyways, it's Blue Origin's policy maybe.
And so we had to do a lot of practicing with that. But one time I remember I got to be an astronaut and step into the crew capsule.
And remember, Paprika, while I was preparing for the New Glenn, I asked about the payload fairing height and how I was getting confused. And you did also say that maybe they are not so much transparent. It is so. Why not be like?
During one of our comms tests, and it's
anyways.
The closest that I've certainly come to space, but you can feel nearly what all the astronauts would be feeling that moment, minus some of the noises and the vibrations from the propulsion module. So it's a surreal experience.
Yeah. And the view, I mean, we always talk about these large windows.
Yeah. Apart from space fans or nerds like us, people are interested about Blue Origin. But I did notice that a group of people are there who are mostly about the shares, or like they are putting money on the shares of different companies, like this kind of space organizations. They are far more interested than us. They are watching the launches completely. So
they can look through their own window.
yes, providing details, it will be making people to at least if people won't be having that affinity to see that stream, at least hearing something might it can spark some interest in them and they can find it interesting. Instead of saying about the feather, the painting design pattern,
The moment she did that,
it's blue origin.
by this panorama of all the other windows that are in there together, that you've got this amazing panoramic view of the entire Earth that is kind of floating underneath your crew capsule, and that was just kind of like a striking moment that she didn't anticipate. And it's, not having gone to space myself, I can imagine there's a lot of things that you probably are hit with just a sensory overload when you're inside that crew capsule, looking down at Earth through these windows. So,
Although on the shadow on the crew capsule from that
as you pointed out, that you can see through those
tower next to it, it's not such sharp. It's a little bit blurry. So I guess still the clouds are there up on the sky, not. But yes, so just by looking at the shadow, we can say for a space launch, whether it is favorable condition or not, they are looking into it, and we are still in a period of hold for getting confirmation for that possible launch window about which they are expecting.
I don't know what that would feel like for a human. I mean, it would feel like
You'd be
some form of gravity.
yeah, you'd be pulled towards the walls and the windows and be able to sense
It's a
one-sixth of
sideways.
Earth's
It's
gravity.
like a sideways centrifuge today. Yeah. So yeah, we at Blue Origin have been looking forward to this flight for a very long time, and really looking forward to seeing the results of it. It's the kind of tech that our team was able to put together and kind of work with a lot of our customers, including the NASA team and the Honeybee team here at Blue, as they look forward to what it's like to simulate lunar gravity. Once again, this is just incredibly important for the Blue Origin mission, which, sometimes we like to say all roads for Blue go through the moon. We've got a lot of things on our
Indeed, Bob, like it's a saying here that sharing knowledge it always gets increased. So we should be always sharing the knowledge we have with us. It's not like we should be like, no, it's like something gold or diamond I'm having, I will be hiding it.
open space and orbital space.
The more you will share, the more knowledgeable we will get, the more knowledgeable people around us will get. And just as I said about that payload, that simple, like just from that like I'm got really to be astonished, just like to have that water trapped in a honey, like that air bubbles trapped in a honey, how that person could conceive about this, to have this scientific experiment to extract oxygen on the lunar surface. Just maybe one day that person was having some pie, having some honey pouring on it, he saw a bubble on the honey there and it struck. So similarly, here there will be more things to be shared from every space companies. Who knows, a kid or a person watching that, it will inspire him or her so much that it can make an effect on this kind of efforts which we are putting into.
Also troubleshooting a vehicle issue. This is kind of a normal part of the process of getting ready for flight, is we're making sure that all systems are go for launch. So a couple things going on today. There's the weather issue, and there's also one vehicle issue that they're currently troubleshooting, which is accounting for this extra time that we have on the clock here. So bear with us. We have not yet called for a scrub, and usually happens a little bit earlier than this, but sometimes we want to give them all the time that they need to make that call. So the mission team is working furiously. They're heads down in mission control, and they are working together to see if they can hold on to the open time window that they have to make this mission happen today. So it's possible we'll scrub, but we're still holding on to that hope that we can find that good window for flight today. So bear with us.
Did they say that they have now a vehicle issue they are looking into? I think I heard that, if I'm not wrong.
With that, let's toss it back to the rocket and just enjoy these great views of New Shepard getting ready for flight.
Yes, of course, Paprika. And like it, what can I say? It intrigues us even like to like why if we could have a chance to work there. Of course, not having such expertise working on SpaceX, but still. And I did saw your comment, Angry Bird. Why pie is like people eat honey, maple syrup with pie, so that's why I mentioned. Yes, they said no, like maybe possibly they can scrub. Three hours of stream, no launch. What it will be happening? Let's see. See, instead of like saying all this roundabout talks, if they would have provided some details about the payload, we could have got something to learn from today's stream, even if they will be calling it for a scrub. Like, okay, fine, we got to learn something from a stream which got scrubbed. The payload details we got to know. We got to learn nothing. Just there, like, what they did, how many times they launched, these things. What you are saying, Angry Bird? Cheese Spice, what did I tell you? I'm not understanding about what you are referring to. Kindly elaborate. Who knows? My relatives are getting increased. You can see it's getting to 8. But once again, those of you joining us for the first time, you're watching AstroYonder live. We cover possibly most of the space launches and to provide statistics and insights to them. We really appreciate you all tuning in for today's Blue Origin's NS-29 mission launch, which is now on a hold for the weather conditions, as stated from Blue Origin's end previously. But I got to hear that the last time they communicated that they have some vehicle issues as well. I think so, if I'm not wrong. With the time passing by, Paprika, it will be really getting cloudy. As I said, guys, did I have a look? to the weather for the West Texas, and it's saying, I said, like they will be having uh, like chances of precipitation and night. There is chances of thunderstorm as well. So maybe possibly they saw a like short launch window that within that frame they can somehow manage that with either side. It's not so much risky. So for that, maybe they are trying to hang on with. Who knows? As I said, my relatives. So maybe she left. They will be giving an update soon. I can't anymore. For long I'm postponing the natures calling me. It's getting 2 hours and 50 minutes into the stream. Well, I didn't look into that public. Let me see.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the attempt for NS-29, the 14th payload flight for New Shepard program. As you can see, we've been in an extended hold here as the time has ticked down to the T-minus 10-minute marker, and then we've been just waiting through as the mission team is working in the background. In addition to tracking the thick clouds that we're seeing today, we've also encountered a vehicle issue related to the booster's avionics. That's going to take us beyond our launch window, unfortunately. We're going to be scrubbing today's launch to look into this issue further and hopefully find a better weather window open to be able to make sure that this is a successful flight for the NS-29 mission. So once that turnaround plan is confirmed, we're going to announce a new launch.
And yes, Poptropica, you did said well, but for the initial attempt, they didn't say it. They just said the launch window will be opening at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So there was no mention about the specific duration of the launch window. Now they did mention that they are making it to scrub as because it's getting beyond the launch window. So with that, we will wrap up our coverage also. Hopefully, we will get an update for the upcoming attempt for the NS-29 launch. And for that, be sure to check out our X handle. We always stay on track there and to post updated news for and the news and the latest happenings in the space industry. So keep an eye there. Also, you can have an eye on our channel as well. We will be streaming this event because we already did our homework on this. So anyways, once again, thanks everyone for joining us. Unfortunately, we couldn't have the launch today. Thanks Bob Tripika for tuning in, and really it's getting At least I am getting habituated to have you always on our stream as not having anyone to talk with. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for talking with us. Angry Bird, thanks for being there. Thanks for not getting jealous for Kate. And thanks once again, everyone, for tuning in, supporting us. So with that, we will be wrapping up today's coverage. This is AstroYonder Live and me, Dipto, signing off for now, and we will see you next time.